Hello fish fools, Jeff here. So in my last video I showed the Sailfin molly fry that were just born, and here's one right here up around the floating Java moss here. That's one that is still on the loose, but that I ended up rounding up some of them and I put them in this breeder box. So I was able to get 5 of them and put them in here. There were already 6 swordtail fry. And yeah, so I ended up also counting another 3 molly fry that are left out now. Right now, that was just that one. Last one that I saw. But yeah, so this is my new 29-gallon aquarium. Just set this up last week, and I have Sailfin mollies and swordtails. So there's 2 male Sailfin mollies, 3 females, and a pair of pineapple swordtails. And I decided I wanted to get some type of schooling fish to add to this tank because it's, you know, it's a community tank, and I decided to get harlequin rasboras. So I have some bags with new fish here as I set out to get fish today. So set out to get harlequin rasboras. And that's what you can see, there's 5 of them in that bag. But along the way, I ended up getting more fish than that. So I ended up getting fish at 3 different places. 1 Petco and 2 PetSmarts. So the first PetSmart I went to, I got the Petco. First place I got any fish. The Petco didn't have any healthy harlequin rasboras, but they did have these green swordtails, which I was planning to get some green swordtails for this tank. And these were the last that they had, last male and last female, the last 2, so I got them both, and they look pretty healthy. And while I was at that Petco, I ended up getting a pair of platies too, and I'll show those later. They're in another tank. So then from there, I went to another, I went to a PetSmart, and that's where I got these 5 harlequin rasboras. They're the last 5 that they had. So I got them all. Wait, there's 4 there. Now the 5th just got in the picture. And then at that same PetSmart, and they had what they call neon swordtails. So this is a female right here. So I wanted to have a higher ratio of females to males. So right now that's 3 males to 2 males. And then I went to the last PetSmart and got some bad news here. So I got the last 3 harlequin rasboras that they had there, and I already saw that in the bag. One of them was already belly up, and now I think all 3 of them are. I did see one that was still breathing, but it was, yeah, I think they might all be dead, unfortunately. But that's a powder blue gourami in there, and I'm gonna have to make this quick so I can get the gourami away from those dead fish. So, what I do is I quarantine my fish in groups. So, I treat them all with ICX, General Cure, and erythromycin. So now that I have all these fish, I'll add those medications to this tank. So in this bag, I don't know if I'm going to be able to see it, but there was also, right there, a little baby guppy fry in that same tank with the rasboras that were guppies. So there's a guppy fry in there. I think I'll put that in here. Like this tank, I wanted to keep this guppy free. Like this is my 10th aquarium, and all 9 of my other tanks have guppies. So I was gonna let this be a tank without guppies. But yeah, I had to get that gourami out of there, and I'm also gonna I'll show you the other fish I'm gonna add to this tank. So here's a 10 gallon that I have. This is kind of serving as a temporary home for some fish and a quarantine tank too. But there's 8 panda corridors. I'm going to move those to the 29 gallon. Oh, and here's the platies I got today. So those were, PetSmart calls those dawn platies, and I thought they were really cool looking. I mean, they're kind of like sunburst platies, or like similar to my marigold varieties platies, but noticeably different too. I think they're cool looking. And I was gonna, like the last, I mentioned I got a couple of guppies in my last video, but I never showed them. So there's one. I ended up getting a midnight guppy, a male guppy. Got that on Saturday from my local fish store, and I got that tequila sunrise guppy that same day. I already had one that I got from Petco a while back, like 8 months ago. Got that the same time as the white guppy here, with plans of moving them to my 30 gallon, but I still haven't even done that yet. And then that 8 months, after having it for 8 months, that tequila sunrise guppy died. So while my local fish store had some, I decided to get a replacement. Yeah, while we're here, let's see. See this right here, up at the top, right here. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, you may have seen that, but there was one guppy born in this tank that survived. I mean, I'm sure lots of guppies were born in here with pregnant female guppies, but all of them got eaten, but one managed to make it. And has grown big enough. There it is up at the top. So that one is big enough to swim around and not get eaten. So then I did have, not did, but I mean I still do have one harlequin rasbora in here, right there. So I mean, looking at this one, how healthy and colorful it is. That's what I'm hoping my new rasboras will, be healthy enough to color up like that. From PetSmart. Like this one, I think it was a PetSmart that I got it at one time when I was the last one in the tank. And this roseline shark, or Denison barb, I think I'm going to move that to that 29 gallon too, to join. When I got it, I was planning on moving it to my 30 gallon that has a bigger roseline shark. But now I think I'm going to move both of them to the 29 gallon because it doesn't, compared to my 30 gallon, it's so loaded with plants and heavily planted, there's not much swimming space. So I do intend to add more plants to that 29 gallon. I'm going to gradually be adding plants as I go, but I'm not going to let it get as heavily planted as my 30 gallon and make sure there's enough swimming space for it. So that one's maybe 2 inches, and I'm going to probably let him buddy up with the one in my 30 gallon that's probably 4 inches or even a little longer. So there's the roseline shark that I've had almost 2 years. I got this when it was about the size of that previous one I just showed, and now it's maybe 4.5 inches. So, I mean, it's gotten as much bigger that it has gotten, and there's so much plants in here, it needs more swimming space, so I think I'm going to move it over to that 29 gallon. Alright, so that's what's going on with this tank, the occupants. But for plants, I'm going to take a little bit of a different approach. And right now I have just the water sprite in here. I'm going to take some of it, probably leave some of it floating, and maybe take some of it and just kind of create like a bushy area as a cover for fry. But I'm not going to let it get, this tank to get as bushy as my 30 gallon. I mean, I'm going to keep Java moss out of it. And I'm going to try to keep duckweed out of it. And I also want to keep brachyfluitans out of it, but there's already a few little bits of that in here that came along with the water sprite. But I'm going to try one experiment with this. So I have these Aponigeton, crinum, and water lily, these bulbs. So I'm going to see if those can grow. Okay, probably bring some bacopa over from my 30 gallon and try some other stem plants. And I'm going to have some opani wood I'm going to put in here. This rock was I just threw in here a tempero that's going to go back in that 10 gallon that it came from, but I have some dragonstone I'm going to put in here. And yeah. So, alright, well, I got to take care of this with these what look to be dead fish and get that gourami out of there. Alright. Well, that's it for now. And remember, I'm Jeff, and I enjoy fishies. Oh, well, actually, let's do one more thing. Let's show the chach. Hey, muchacho. Muchacho. Alright. I'm Jeff, and I enjoy fishies, and I enjoy kitties. Thanks for watching.